I forgot to do something. Ooh, bad host. Bad.
On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have left California.
This Bronxexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh, yeah! Finally got everything right. I forgot to push the button to start the damn thing. Here we go on a Monday. Good morning. Welcome to the Manic Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. On the schedule today, we'll talk NBA World Championship. The Heat have tied the series. The Golden Knights and the Florida Panthers go at it in Game 2 tonight. And, of course, all kinds of good stuff. Ryan McCarthy will join me at the bottom of the hour to talk all things Jets and New Jersey sports in general. And Jay Spivey will join me at the bottom of hour number 2. All right. Since most of y'all missed it, I'm not going to waste any time. Let's do a short version of this. And we'll keep it short and sweet by telling you Anthony Rendon will not be charged after a fan incident in Oakland on March the 30th. He was suspended for 4 games and fined an undisclosed amount, but will not be charged by the Oakland Police Department. Rick Adelman has been honored with the National Basketball Coaches Association Lifetime Achievement Award, named after the late, great Chuck Daly. And if anyone remembers how Chuck Daly would coach against this opponents, it's an absolute honor to have an award named after him and have a person like Rick Adelman, who I remember very, very well, be honored with that award. So congratulations to former Trailblazers and Kings coach Rick Adelman for the Lifetime Achievement Award. He was a great coach and a great leader and is a great person. Julius Randle has surgery on his left ankle, I beg your pardon, after starting the first 77 games of the season before spraining the ankle on March 29th in the victory over Miami. Randle was struggling in the series against Cleveland before limping off after spraining the ankle again in the Knicks' Game 5 victory over Cleveland to win the series. He sat out Game 1 of the East semifinals against Miami before returning to play the final 5 games. He shot just 3 of 14 when the Knicks were eliminated in Game 6 in Miami, though he wouldn't say during the postseason if the ankle was still bothering him. An all-star for the second time in 3 seasons, he finished averaging 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. Still more work for the Knicks to do if they want to get over the hump and finally end a plus 50-year drought of winning a championship. Although Wise will tell you, if a certain player becomes a member of the New York Knicks, and I hope he doesn't, that he would be a card-carrying member of a certain club. And yes, I'm picking on him this morning. Aaron Rodgers says he didn't ghost the Packers. And that closes today's Whip Around. Oh, there we go. And now to the Fanatic Feedback Zone. Vic Allah was the first one in, saying good morning to one and all, and welcome to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson at the all-new time. And of course, I put in the comments, sorry I'm late, y'all. I didn't push the button at the top of the hour. A Pizzle, Florida Panthers card-carrying fan, says good morning. Sick Diggy says, what in the all types of blue hell? Thank you, Chris Bass, for that. And then, of course, he gives his usual greeting. Good morning, good afternoon, evening, and good night. Same to you. Victor welcomes Sick Diggy into the bunch. And this edition of the Whip Around is brought to you by Daddy Joe's Rawhide Belts. The belts designed for chapping that hide raw. Daddy Joe's Rawhide Belts. Salute to Gary, Indiana. Absolutely. And Bronze Guard fedoras. The fedoras when want to ward off, reform the hooker whores, and send fools to Hades. Yes, I finally got it right. Courtney Harden, the real deal with Courtney Harden, joins us this morning. Courtney, I got a bone to pick with you. It's a playful one, and you know which one it is. Aaron Rodgers says he didn't ghost the Packers. And thank you. Thank you, A Pizzle, because now I'm going to have to do it. Aaron Rodgers says he didn't ghost the Packers.
Why the you lying? Why you always lying?
And now a selection from the Wonder Bread Choir entitled Packer Be Lying. For those of you who don't believe Aaron Rodgers that Aaron Rodgers did not ghost the Packers,
You fool!
he actually did that a couple of years ago, and he actually did that a couple of years ago after he lost to San Francisco in the playoffs. Oops, did I say that out loud? All right, a short break to have us stay on schedule, and when we come back, the Heat have tied the series thanks to an incredible fourth quarter. And they needed every bit of those 36 fourth quarter points. Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
That's why we here on this platform.
Marriage, a loving splendor, a daily grind. Such is the case when Damien and Jamie get together and chop it up, for marriage is real.
Let's just lay it all out here. Let's just be real with it.
Join this wonderful couple who keeps it real and always in love. BS3 Network proudly presents Marriage is Real, where love is the only thing that matters. Live every Tuesday at 8:30 Central. Oh, and Jamie has something to say.
Deuces and trays.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got, game-winning interception, first down, just a nice solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
Cause
I'm in another lane. I'm a different breed. I'm everything you can never be. I'm next level. Next level.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
Everything Boston. New Kids on the Block, New Edition, and I love New Edition. Can't stand the rain. New Edition. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Big Papi David Ortiz, definitely Pedro Martinez. The Bruins, them, the Celtics, Patriots somewhat, but Giants handled them. So, but still a big them. The Boston PD for that Boston Marathon. But I'm sorry, New Edition, I do love you guys. But yeah, yeah. Except for Johnny Gill. Yeah, Johnny Gill is from DC, so not you, Johnny Gill, not you. The other 5 kids that from I'm sorry. They're not kids. They can't help where they come from. But them for being from Boston.
You can catch the replay of Mentality every night at 10 p.m. Eastern as I get everything situated here. I had it there we go. Had it situated, but let's go to the Fanatics feedback zone. Speaking of Sir Wise, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone that is here. Salute to you. A Pizzle, happy Monday to you. And I got to thank A Pizzle for being one of the best supporters of the show. Speaking of which, BS3 has joined us from Texas. Good morning to you. And I like that new logo that you have there, man. I love that. Rising Rhino is in the house saying, what's up, Snowman? What's up to you? Glad to have you. Rising Rhino is indeed here. And what about game 2 last night? The Miami Heat used a 36-point fourth quarter to wipe out a 15-point deficit and even the series at 1 game apiece heading down to Miami. Here is the question of the segment that I have for you guys. Since Miami has now made it a series, since Miami has now made it a series, do they get one of the two that they must have in Miami and extend the series to 6 games? Because now everyone, myself included, that said this would be a 4-game sweep, to borrow the words of legendary Ron White, that's profiling, and profiling is wrong. I was wrong. I thought this would be a put-away series for Denver. It is not. The Miami Heat are in the finals for a reason. And Jimmy Buckets himself, has figured things out. And I'm so happy that Miami got this game. As mentioned, they outscored the Denver Nuggets 36-25 in the fourth quarter in front of 19,537. And Jimmy Butler finished with 21 points. Gabe Vincent finished with 23. Bam Adebayo finished with 21. And Max Strus finished with 14. They denied the Joker, who finished with 41 points last night on 18 of 28 shooting, 2 of 5 from distance. Jamal Murray, who they held in check with 18 points and 10 rebounds. But only 8 players played last night, while Miami suited up 10. I think that's going to be a difference. Mark Malone has cut his situation down. Mike Malone has cut his rotation down to 8 players, and those 8 players were not enough to swipe game 2. Remember, Denver led this game by 15. They led by as many as 15 points. To the Fanatics Feedback Zone, Eagles Uncensored says, Snowman, what's good? What's good to you, my friend? Great to have you with us. The Hawk TV joins us as well. Good morning to you. And the question I posed is, now that Miami swiped game 2, do they make this a 6-game series? Do they have enough to steal one in Miami or 2 and make this an even more competitive series? Game 3 will come your way Wednesday at 8:30, and that'll be all the games will be on ABC. The next 2 are in Miami, Wednesday and Friday. And then the next one, Game 5. I'm sorry about this microphone. It's the cord. I got to change the cord here. Game 5 will be next Monday. Michael Porter Jr. had to step up. Yeah, he did, and he didn't. Put Yo Kang on the Nuggets, and they win that game flawlessly. Don't you put Yo Kang? Where's my button? Put Yo Kang on the Nuggets, and they take a even bigger, fatter. Round me up, Hawk TV. Put Yo Kang on the Nuggets.
Why the you lying? Why you always lying?
Who wants to see that fool on the Denver Nuggets when they have Nikola Jokic there? Who actually believe? Let me stop. And I playfully respond to Hawk TV with this.
I don't remember asking you a thing.
I mean this jokingly, Hawk TV, but this is for you also.
So good.
I got a question. Did it seem like Denver in the fourth quarter was settling for more jump shots than normal? And my backup question is, did it seem like Denver leaned on Jokic for more than necessary? Because a lot of players, Michael Porter Jr. included, did not step up to help him. And as I look at the box score, Aaron Gordon only had a dozen. Michael Porter Jr., 2 for 8 he only took 8 shots from the field and finished with a total of 5 points. And Kentavious Caldwell-Pope finished with 6 points. They need the starters to average double figures in the 2 games in Miami. coming Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday and Friday, they have to average double digits in Miami for the Nuggets to steal either one of those two games, because it seems like Miami has now figured out what they need to do. Jimmy Butler has seemed to have figured it out. And after being held in check in game one, a game that the Nuggets won by double digits, Jimmy Butler really stepped up, especially in that fourth quarter, where I believe he had 15 in the fourth quarter and helped wipe out a 15-point deficit to put him away. Jimmy Bucket seems to have figured it out. Now, can he figure it out at home? That is the key question. Game 3 comes your way Wednesday night in Miami. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we will have Mr. McCarthy himself, Ryan McCarthy, joining us at the bottom of the hour. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. We're back in a flash.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
I'm in another lane. I'm a different breed. I'm everything you can never be. I'm next level. Next level.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com. And
This is Snowman in the Morning.
I'm in another lane. I'm a different breed. I'm everything you can never be. I'm next level. Next level.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BET in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meet of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
If you're the kind of person that likes to drive a lot and your car is a little bit older and out of the normal warranty, keep listening. What's going on underneath the hood of your car? If your car is out of warranty, you're at risk of expensive repair bills. Now, for a couple of dollars a day, you can get an extended protection plan for your car. Hey, you love your car, so why not give it a little extra care? And make sure if something goes wrong, your bank account is safe. Literally, for a couple of dollars a day, you can give yourself peace of mind that you purchased a top-tier vehicle repair coverage plan. Call the Auto Protection Network right now and ask how you could save an additional $500 on your policy.
Call 877-845-0463. Call now.
Do you use Viagra or Cialis? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. you save more than $500. Stop overpaying for Viagra. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. Call now.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast.
This coffee with McCarthy is sponsored by Steph Curry Cognac. One, and it's lights out. And now presented by Invader Coffee, here's Ryan. What's up, my man?
I thought we had a moratorium on Yo Kang.
I'm going to have a fight with him during the second hour. I thought of this during the break. I'll make the top of the hour a free-for-all before Jay Spivey comes on. But me and Hawk TV are going to have a fight.
We're all going to get in a fight.
Huh?
We're all going to get in a fight.
Yes. Yes, there's going to be a fight.
And it's gonna be a line brawl, y'all.
And to avoid a fight with Mr. McCarthy, there's a certain subject you prayed and asked me not to talk about what I did in the whip around, and I promise I will not bring that subject up.
Thank you.
Yeah. because that could typically be an all-day subject, given the fact that, yeah. I just won't bring it up.
We just need to talk about something. Let's focus on the present. Let's focus on the here and now. Can we please?
How about the Stanley Cup Playoffs?
Woo,
What's your take on the playoffs this year?
This playoffs is awesome. They're awesome. I love the chaos. I love chaos. Let's put it that way.
It all started with Boston.
And it all started with. By the way, please play that PSA. Please, I beg of you, play that PSA.
Let me find it and I'll play it. But
do it.
It all started with Boston. I mean, I can't find the damn thing. I don't know why, but it's not. It's here. I know it's here. You being up in New York, originally from Jersey, what's your hatred for Boston like? Or dare I ask such a question?
I wouldn't say it's hatred, so to speak. It's just an annoyance, especially over the past 2 decades, because of everything going on with the Patriots. As a Jets fan,
oh Lord,
I haven't had my. It's okay. Well, the thing is, look at it. I've been a fan for, over 40 years. So most of my life, good majority of my life. So in the 80s. It was seeing Miami all the time, being successful a whole lot. Then you had the 90s, the Bills. Then you had the 2000s, the 2010s with the Patriots. Sometimes I want the 2020s to be our time, where we go to the playoffs consistently. Our team goes to the playoffs consistently, and our team goes to the Super Bowl eventually. I would like to see it once in my lifetime.
So how does that happen? How does that happen? That this time,
let's see.
Is the time of the Jets.
Let's see. Well, they had the defense to do it. Right now, I guess right now there's is a rift between. I won't say a rift. It's a small rift because of it's a contract, a new contract between Quinn Williams and Jets management. Some say they're close to an extension. Some say they're far apart. I don't know who to believe. I personally don't care. Just
so
give him his money.
Right? Why don't they just pay him and get it over with?
I think part of it is just Joe Douglas learned so much from Howie Roseman and from Ozzie Newsome about how to build a team, not overpay players. Because, as you know, there's a thing called the Jets tax. Joe Douglas, there was the Jets tax where they had to make an impact. They had to make a splash in free agency, and no matter who did it, who's the GM, whether it be Mike McCagnon,
oh God,
or Idzik, or John Idzik, or
John Idjit.
Oh my gosh, that guy gutted that team. That guy gutted
John Idjit.
Ryan's teams. Oh my gosh. But I think they had the tools to do it. They have they have the elite defense. They've got top 10 defense. They've got young core of players who want to be there and want to play and with each other and want to win with each other.
Right.
It's the quarterback situation. Always been the quarterback situation. They haven't had a franchise quarterback since you know who, Broadway Joe, of course, and the carousel of Jets quarterbacks who have come through this system. And again,
the only other team that's had a worse carousel of quarterbacks than the Jets
is the Cleveland
Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and what's the brew this morning? I know it's Invader Coffee, but what's the brew?
No, actually, it's not Invader Coffee. I got a free little bag of coffee I put in my French press this morning. It's a Mexican blend. It's pretty good.
Can you send me a bag of coffee, please?
I did. Please? Well, I sent you $25, but
I had to put it I had to put it in the tank because wife was running short on gas, and hubby had to ride to the rescue, and I had to get a few groceries. So
understood.
Good.
Understood.
I had to help take care of the house. So
I'll see what I can do.
When that came in, when that came in, and I thank you for your gift, and I'm begging for another one right about now. When that came in, the wife came home that evening, and I went to get dinner, and I took a look at the tank, and I'm like, this ain't good. And it was an off skit. It was not a pay week. So
understood.
Had to take care of the honey. I will take care of you, my friend, with this.
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe,
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
I'm Ryan McCarthy, and I approve this message. So I've got a question for I got a question for you, Snowman, and I got a question for our friends in the chat. So I had the, not say luck, but just the chance to have a sign on to HBO Max. Now it's called Max or whatever. And and I started. I'm not the one who's paying for it. So
okay. I can live with that.
So I went back and I started watching old South Park episodes. I also started watching old episodes of Anthony Bourdain, who I absolutely loved until unfortunate end in 2018 or 2019.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this. My sister and I were talking about. We were watching an episode of Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations. And that's part of the reason why No Credentials Required is called No Credentials Required, because it was a tribute to that show.
No reservation. I love it.
Right. So, a question for you, Snowman, a question for the rest of the chat. If you had one sports destination that you've always wanted to attend or go to, whether it be past or present, what would be that destination and why?
Candlestick Park.
Okay. For what occasion? Or just for just any old game, or just for a particular game in general?
Two things. Any old game, and January 10th, 1982. The Catch. Or January 1990, when they bludgeoned the Rams. I would love to have been there. I would love to have been there for that. That would be my number one destination. Would be Candlestick Park.
I would have been there for the 1991 NFC Championship.
The Giants,
because not because the 49ers lost, but because that game was I loved that game. It was one of the greatest games. I know for your 49ers, it was unfortunate end at the with the game-winning field goal by Matt Barr, but to see to watch that game in person.
Yeah, I have much love for Big Blue, for Bill Parcells and the Giants, because they used to terrorize our asses all the time.
He's up in my area during the summers.
Really?
Yeah. He loves Saratoga. He loves the racetrack. He loves the golf course. We have a national style golf course up there, Saratoga National. But he loves it up here. He loves
Do y'all have a racetrack up there?
Horse racetrack.
Nice. Very nice.
It's one of the oldest in the United States.
Let's welcome Kuram Mari Arku 3 to the chat this morning. I like the Mavs, Thunder, Cowboys, and Rangers, and he'll give us more.
Hey, my co-host is in the chat.
Dustin Henry in the chat. I should have been at Quest Field for the time of Beastquake against the Saints. You know where I was with that game? I was on a road trip, and I was doing basketball that entire weekend. I lived in Gary, Indiana at the time, but we went down to Indianapolis. So it was like a big trip for me with the pro team that I was covering. And they said, we have 3 games. We're going to pay you for all of them. We're going to feed you. We're going to house you. I'm like, cool. I can live with that. So I drove to where they were meeting, went down, and then I was getting updates on that game that Dustin talked about. Man, everybody on the team was wanting updates because the game kicked off while we were in the second half of our game, of the third game of the trip. Second half kicked off, and everybody was looking at my phone for updates, and then we saw that run by Marshawn Lynch, and we all were like, game over.
It's done. It's over.
We packed up, drove back. And that was the end of the trip. I live in Dallas and was born in OKC. A question for this fan right here: what is OKC fandom like since y'all got the team? I want to ask a true OKC fan that question.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
I hear
too.
Tag Along in the back.
Yeah, he's here. He's
it figures. Honorable mention to Wrigley and Camden Yards. Look, Dustin, let me save you the trouble.
I have a story about Wrigley.
You have a story about Wrigley? Okay, hit me. What's up?
I have a story about Wrigley. So,
okay. Boy.
No, nothing bad. I was just 2011. I had a chance to go to Chicago in 2011 for a chaplain's conference for Hockey Ministries International, and I stayed a day later because I wanted to attend I want to go to a Blackhawks game at the United Center, which is an experience. It's awesome. It's an awesome experience.
Yeah,
it was a preseason. It was a preseason game too. So even in the preseason,
they're loud.
United Center's packed.
They're loud.
And I love the fact that they applauded during the national anthem. That was awesome.
Started doing that in 1991 during the All-Star game.
So I decided to notice it's not a Cubdom experience segment. Sick.
Stop.
Brought to you by
drink and laughter for that.
This coffee with McCarthy is brought to you by Nurse Anastasia's Incense. For when you have the blues, for when your team loses, for when your teams lose, trust in Nurse Anastasia's Incense.
Oh Lord!
But I had the chance to visit Wrigleyville because I just figured it was I had some free time before I flew back to Albany.
Yeah.
And I stopped at Wrigleyville. There was no games going on because, of course, it's the Cubs. And I went to a pub, had some lunch, had a couple libations, walked around Wrigley Field for a bit. And you know what was happening that night?
What's that?
It was a 25th anniversary screening of Ferris Bueller's Day Off at Wrigley Field. And had I known that my flight was going to be delayed for 2 hours, I would have stayed
You'd have stayed.
and watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off in at Wrigley Field.
One of the best movies.
And caught the train back to O'Hare so I can make my flight.
Yeah. A train ride to O'Hare is an experience for me.
I don't have many regrets in my life, but that was one of them.
Why was that a regret? Or dare I ask?
Because I love the movie. I love that movie. It's a great movie. And
how can you not love that movie?
Yeah, and the fact that Wrigley Field was showing that movie that night in the park would have been a bucket list experience, and I just I'll have to wait for the 40th anniversary.
Mr. McCarthy.
Oh, stop, Vic Allah.
Listen, I agree with Victor. You don't want to go in that joint.
Why not?
Even though they've refurbished it, even though they've sort of rebuilt it, even though they pushed the plunger and got rid of the troughs, it's still raggedy.
Ooh, I remember going to the Carrier Dome. They had the troughs. Ugh. It was 2009. They still had the troughs.
What?
Yeah,
in the Carrier Dome?
At the Carrier Dome in the men's room, they had the troughs, and I'm like, I'm not peeing in there.
No. Hell no.
Gross.
I can't do it.
No.
I experience.
Am I an animal? No, I'm a man.
I experienced the troughs. I experienced the troughs in two stadiums, Wrigley Field and the Metrodome. And I got to share this story. I was with the Indiana Northwest, and we had a baseball spring break series for the Metrodome, scheduled for the Metrodome in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I had 3 of these full of Coke during the first doubleheader.
So we were wired for sound,
and then some. They kept bringing me Coke. They kept bringing me water. And during the break, in between games, I had to go to the bathroom. I went in said bathroom and saw troughs, and I'm going, why am I in Wrigley Field again? That's when I got a press and said, "Oh, we got bathrooms up here in the press box." Good.
Praise the Lord.
Just
I'm not using those troughs. Yeah, I haven't been to the
only time that's the only time during my stay in Minnesota that I had to deal with the troughs. Other times I raced down the press box to one of the executive bathrooms.
Why? Why troughs?
If there
we're
was
men. We're men. We're not animals. We don't deserve troughs.
No, we don't. We don't deserve troughs, man.
Right.
What's the grossest stadium? And I pose this for you and the chat. What is the grossest stadium you've ever been in? And I mean gross all over.
This is a tough one.
Oh, your top 3. Let me put it that way.
The Forum in Montreal was pretty gross. I loved going to the Forum, but it was
right.
I wouldn't say dilapidated, but they kept it updated during the years. But let's just say I'm happy the Bell Center's around. Old Yankee Stadium had that kind of gritty vibe to it. I wouldn't say it was gross, but it was gritty.
Yeah.
And same with Shea Stadium. Shea Stadium. Because I want to go to Fenway Park to experience that grittiness. I just haven't had the chance to yet. And I'm only a 3-hour drive from Boston. So, but yeah, and Old Yankee and Giant Stadium too.
The old one?
The old one. The new one, the MetLife Stadium is sterile. It's so sterile.
How did y'all host the Super Bowl at MetLife Stadium?
I have no idea.
How did they choose MetLife Stadium?
Because they had promised a Super Bowl to New York after 9/11. That's why.
Oh God!
And
I understand. I understand the sentiment. I do. Listen, I get the sentiment.
I get the sentiment too, but having it in a stadium that light, having it in a
It's
stadium that
lifeless.
lifeless and sterile, and no.
When I watched the 49ers and the Jets in 2020, I specifically paid attention to that game, not just because it's the 49ers, but I wanted to see what a crowdless MetLife Stadium was like. And I kept looking at that joint, and I'm thinking, no.
That was the game that Nick Bosa and Solomon Thomas busted
Nick
their
Bosa
ACLs.
tore up his knee. Solomon Thomas tore up his knee. We lost
Jimmy Garoppolo sprained his ankle.
Sprained his ankle, and that turf at MetLife Stadium is awful.
And they replaced it too.
Yeah.
They finally replaced that.
So many people got injured that year.
Yep.
So many people got injured that year. Wrigley Field historically grows trash, and I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue. And this is for you.
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe,
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
All right, I got to do it. What team?
I played that PSA last week on No Credentials Required. By the way, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. It was a universal consensus among our panel that yes, F Boston.
Do you have an extra seat available? I'll join you tonight.
Sure, come on by. I'll
join you tonight.
Yeah,
I'll join you tonight. Jody should be home. The only reason I didn't join last time when you invited me, Jody came in. She was really, really tired, and she still has a bad knee. So family came first. I'd make sure she was all right. And by the time she was settled, because she had a hard time settling down because of her injury, you had already signed off. And it's like, doggone it, I missed it. But save me a seat tonight. I expect Jody to be in early.
Will do.
I expect her to be in early. Ryan McCarthy joining us here on the program. Before you, what PSAs would you give besides the obvious?
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe,
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Oh, you know locally who I would give a PSA to. Uh-oh.
Let's hear it.
All right.
No, I'm here. Let's hear it.
All right.
The following
Antonio Brown. The following is public service
announcement from Ryan McCarthy.
Tony.
This has been a public service announcement from Ryan McCarthy.
Because here's what happened. They hired another head coach. They let him go 5 days. 5 days. 5 days after they hired him, they said, nope, we're done. Actually, no, what happened was that he became an advisor to the team. Then they supposedly had hired another head coach who was a head coach in the league, in the National Arena League in 2021. And he decided, nope. He decided, nope, not going to do it. I guess he's a defensive assistant with Iowa in the IFL right now. But he said, nah, not going to do it. So they're having a current player coach the team now.
Oh God! So they actually told him,
You're out.
Or he told Tony Antonio LLA. Oh, supposedly he's going to play on Saturday too.
Why?
I don't know. This whole thing is such a mess.
From a franchise on the cusp of a dynasty to a toilet team.
Mm-hmm.
All because you hired Antonio Brown. Yipe.
Or was it Antonio LLA? We're not sure.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Thank you, Mr. Bass. Albany football fans are asking the exact same thing. Yes, I know. Tag along. Jeez.
See, your cat reminds me of the cats that I have, because all three of them, Pumpkin, Binks, and Winnie, will be outside this. Will be outside this door. If I have the door open, I'll hear them. Where is he?
Right here. Hey, buddy.
Tagalong has been making his presence felt since the start of this segment.
Yeah, he's like, stop talking about Yo Kang and stop talking about Tony Brown.
Me and Hawk TV are gonna have a fight. If Hawk TV, I challenge you if you're still
Line
around.
brawl. Line brawl.
Line brawl. The following is a public service announcement from Brian Snow. LeBron.
This is a public service announcement from Brian Snow.
This segment is brought to you by Clearwater Laxative and Colon Cleanse. When things get muddy, Clearwater is your buddy.
I didn't know we had hydrocolonic. I didn't know we we're having a hydrocolonic sponsor this segment. Jeez.
I mean, thanks, Sick Diggy, for that.
Thanks, Sick.
With all the.
I don't know how they do things in
Norway.
Norway.
I was talking to Victor about this on Saturday. You know, all these joking ass got started with penis water.
You're welcome.
That's how they all got started. That was the first one.
You gotta put me out with that, Snowman.
I don't know if I have it here, but
oh no,
I don't have it. I don't have it, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate.
But I do have this.
This moment of bronze sexual stupidity is brought to you by Hooked on Bronix. When you start talking like an idiotic bronze sexual, Hooked on Bronix can set you right. Call 1-800-YO-KANG. Ray LJPM, now approve all this.
That's courtesy of Victor.
By the way, Ray, if you're out there, we're thinking about you, buddy. Well, most of us are thinking about you, and we hope you're well. We hope you're well.
Hope you're well.
Most of us hope you're well, as a fellow human being and just a concern.
Hope you're well as a human being. Hope you're dying in your fandom as a Faker fan.
Womp womp.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
No regrets. No regrets.
I got no regrets whatsoever. That's Ryan McCarthy joining us as he does every Monday. Oh, man. Had fun as always. No credentials required. 8 p.m. tonight. Who knows? The Snowman may make an appearance. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate the time.
Take care.
Hey, don't touch that dial. Try again. Don't touch that dial. Hour 2 starts right now. Time for hour 2 of this spectacular. Ryan McCarthy now joins us this morning.
That's what you need to do to beat Josh Allen. You need to make him uncomfortable.
Hour 2. Time for some SpiveyNotes. And here's Jay.
Well, I know he's only in his 3rd year, but they're just wasting Justin Herbert.
Hour 2.
The hardest working content creator I know. The playmaker.
Hey, LeBron James, the greatest scorer of all time. Hey.
Hour 2.
The one, the only Christopher Dietz.
They rewarded Ohio State for not playing, and they punished USC for playing.
Hour 2.
Sam Shady.
Oh, man. It's been a roller coaster ride if you were a Philadelphia Stars fan.
Hour 2. That's Big Ben, the man in charge of the BS3 network.
And if I see Kurt 2 Chainz Cousins out.
Hour 2. Chris Bay's joining us.
Oh my God! Oh, this game! Oh, way to go, Sammy!
Hour 2. YSL.
Oh man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular, and it starts right now. Hour 2 of this spectacular begins, and I am going to invite Victor up here because I'm going to pick on him, at least for a half hour until Jay comes on. Hour 2 presented by Invader Coffee. Get your day started the right way with 100% all natural coffee. That is Invader Coffee. And we're also presented by BetUS in its 29th year of action. BetUS, BETUS.com. That's BETUS.com. I'm going to have me some fun because Victor is a Cowboy fan, and I'm going to pick on him. Actually, he's going to pick on the Cowboys for me. So, Victor, if you get the message I just sent you, come on up. Karam, Mr. Snow, you like the Pacers and Colts, right? Sorta. I like the Colts because my wife is a Colts fan, so I support the Colts, but my team is the 49ers. As for the NBA, it's the Bulls, the Spurs, and the Warriors. Somewhat the Pacers, somewhat. But the Pacers haven't been the same since Reggie Miller hung it up. And Victor is here. I get to pick on him. What's up, Victor?
Good morning, Snowman. I know what I'm in for.
Why do you have this evil smile on your face?
How you don't have an evil smile?
Does that answer your question?
I do. I have an evil smile. I know it.
You have an evil smile on your face. And I've only known you 20 plus years.
That's true. All right, Snowman. Give it to me.
Joining us on the Invader Coffee Hotline. Okay. I asked Ryan this. I will ask you this.
Okay.
How do the Cowboys get back to prominence?
We got a couple hours. It took more than 30 minutes to get through that. Let's start from the top. First and foremost, Gerald got to go. I am willing to help make a GoFundMe to put Gerald in the most lavish old folks home. Just get him away from the front office and put a football-minded person in that chair.
Okay.
That's first and foremost.
And the follow-up question is, who would you put in that chair? That's the follow-up question. Who would you put in that chair?
That's the question, because there's not a lot of real football-minded individuals who are in ownership. Most of them are general managers.
True.
And a director of football operations. So finding someone who is willing and competent enough to actually get the team right is hard to find.
You said the most important word in that sentence.
Oh, competency?
Yes.
Yeah.
You said the most important word, competent.
I know that's a foreign language for most Cowboy fandom.
Isn't it?
And since I'm here, I am saying right now, I, as well as anyone else with me, is willing to declare war against the moronic republic of Cowboys Nation. This group of individuals have done nothing but sully the name of Cowboys fans. And not only that, they are poisoning other sports.
Yeah, they are.
The fact that they went and threw trash during a really good game between the Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars.
Yes,
tells me that was moronic Cowboy Nation.
I'm inclined to believe that.
And us as
Stars fans doing that.
Us as real Cowboys fans, we don't condone that. We don't subscribe to that.
No, we don't. And I listen. You start at the top with getting rid of Jerry Jones.
Yes.
Okay? That must happen.
Then Pennywise, right after that. Have the clown bow out finally, please.
But see, here's the problem. He's like LeBron in many ways. He wants to hold on to something he never had.
But yeah, and that's the thing is I personally would take a Lovie Smith.
No, you wouldn't.
Hey, he did some pretty decent work with the Bears. He could be no worse than Pennywise at this point.
Yeah, this is true. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue that point.
And
argue.
Now we got to the management. Let's get to the team. Go to Prescott. I don't know if we got to take you to manhood camp or something, but you have to get more mentally tough than what you are. For some reason, he is so mentally weak.
In the big moments.
Yes. This is now the second year in a row.
In the big moments.
This is now the second year in a row where Dak could have come back and made a really big play in a really big moment,
Right.
Shut every critic of him up, but instead he's strung smaller than Mini-Me in the tiniest Hell in a Cell match. And now people are still are trying to call him the go-to guy for the Cowboys. I don't think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, the random cowboy musings of Vicola. And yes, I'm cutting the daylight side of this for a premiere later this week. I'll tell y'all more as we go along. Victor Locke joining me on the Invader Coffee Hotline, talking all things Cowboys and the lack of respect from Cowboys Nation. All right, so Jerry Jones has to go.
Jerry Jones has to go, yes.
Have to find someone to put in his place.
Yes.
All right. Pennywise needs his walking papers.
He needs to go too, yes.
He needs to go too. All right. Now we get to Dak Prescott, who many Cowboy fans, if you want to call him that, say he's the main at quarterback. I tend to disagree, and I tend to get killed for it.
For him to be the man, he has to be a man.
Because he shrank in the most key moments.
Let's put some names out there. Likes of, say, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, the likes of Drew Brees, the likes of, and you may not like this name, but Tom Brady, the likes of Jim McMahon, Johnny Unitas, the likes of one of your favorites, Joe Montana,
Mr. Montana,
the likes of one of my favorites, Troy Aikman. These men all dealt some form of adversity some way or another. And not only did they get past it, they got a ring out of it.
A few rings out of it.
A few rings. At some point, Dakota has to get out of his comfort zone. And even if he has to go at Pennywise and say, look, your ideas ain't working. It ain't working. We need to do something else because your schemes are not working.
Why am I laughing so hard right now?
I mean, say what people want about Jay Cutler, but Jay Cutler was at least able to say, look, I don't like these schemes. They need to be fixed.
Oh, Lord. Vicola is brought to you by Arlington Retirement Community. When your senility affects your football making decisions, be well taken care of at the Arlington Retirement Community.
I am Vicola, and I approve that message. Thank you, Mr. McCarthy.
Oh, Lord.
I mean,
that's the best ad that's been created.
Let's be honest. There is no reason why a team that talented can be so completely inept when it comes to playoff time. I mean, we've seen them do well in the regular season. We've seen them win games they probably shouldn't win.
Right.
We've also seen them lose games they shouldn't lose.
Jacksonville come to mind.
Jacksonville, Washington.
Philadelphia.
Y'all
could have beat Philadelphia in Philly. You were in it. Y'all were in that game.
We could have.
I watched it. Jody and I watched it. And we kept saying, why are the Cowboys in this game and not able to take advantage of it? We kept saying that.
We could have won, and then someone said, hey, guys, remember, you are Dallas Cowboys. Oh, that's right. We're supposed to suck. I'm sorry. I did not know we were supposed to be completely inept.
I can't argue.
I mean, and you have a defense which, with Micah Parsons, if he stays off Twitter, Parsons and that defense could win titles. They could. They have the talent. They have the drive to do so, but that offense has got to help them. And something that you and I have spoken about with the Bears and the Lions are actually getting this done, and that is offensive line work.
Yeah, there is none in Dallas right now.
There is none.
I hate to say it.
They have, since Dak got paid, they have tried their hardest to put this mirror, this spotlight on Dak to let people know he can win the game by himself, and that simply cannot happen.
It can't.
Kurt Warner became Kurt Warner because Marshall Faulk helped him out.
Yep. Kurum says, Mr. Snow, I will say this: the Texas Rangers are for real and the best offense in baseball. They are for real for now.
Yeah.
I don't trust the Texas Rangers come September.
I like the Rangers, I really do, but we're only in June right now.
Thank you.
So we have to hold off on that. I agree.
I don't. The Rangers are the best offense in baseball. Yes, no denying that. No denying that at all. But you're not the best team in Texas until you beat the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
Period. And yes, you have a 3.5 game lead over Houston. The Texas Rangers are 18 games above 500. The Astros are 11 games above 500. Here's the problem. Houston's coming.
I want to admit that in 2005 we created a monster. In 2005, the White Sox created a monster because Houston Astros have become a behemoth from what they used to be.
When they switched leagues 10 years later, they became absolutely incredible. All right. They lost the league championship series in 2018, lost the World Series in 19, damn near got back to the World Series in 20. But here's the point I'm making. The Astros since 2016, when they took a nosedive, have been there every single year.
Yeah.
They've been there every single year. And as long as Texas plays, listen to me carefully, as long as Texas plays like Houston's coming for them, they'll be fine and they'll sustain it. However, the Houston Astros are built for the long haul. The Texas Rangers are only built for a short time. I mean, I love you, Bruce Bochy, for what you did with the Giants, but you ain't got Buster Posey behind the plate.
Now, the question is, can they fix that? Can they fix it in this year? Can they fix that and go from being a short spurt to going for the long haul?
I would love for that to happen. Don't get me wrong. I would love for that to happen. But when you face teams like the Houston Astros, it's going to be tough to do.
It is.
It's going to be tough to, and it's June. And I say this all the time. It is June. It is not September.
Yeah. But this is where people make their hay. This is where a lot of teams are going to make hay.
Yep.
In these next 3 months.
Yep.
Because it's going to be hot. There's not going to be a whole lot of wind.
And plus, Jose Altuve is back in the lineup.
Yes.
Jose Altuve is back in the lineup. Our local minor league baseball team, the Tri-City Valley Cats, were the single-A short season affiliate for the Astros from 02 to 19. I remember them. I remember them.
Oh, it works.
Back to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I was going to say.
More of the random uses of Vicola. If y'all find it in your heart, support the show via Cash App. The tag you need is man, Dr. K50. Now, we mentioned Dak Prescott.
Yes.
And I'm going to say a sentence that's going to make a lot of Cowboy fans angry, but I prefer to speak the truth. And I'll put it in the form of a question. Has Dak Prescott done anything since he turned pro? Anything of significance? Let me correct my question. Anything of significance?
In terms of playoff time, in terms of playoffs or anything going close to a championship, no. In terms of regular season, he basically stepped into the role where Tony Romo was, which give the fan hope that within a couple of years we can get to prominence.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in a sense, he kind of did. He earned his money. I'll put it this way: he earned his money. The problem is that people are bloviating him about him being the guy to get to the Super Bowl. That's not happening unless he gets some mental toughness somewhere. I don't care if you got to take Troy Aikman and Joe Montana and take him to a camp and put him through the ringer to get his mind right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about championship mode. You and I both talk about this. There's a certain mode that many players have. Few players have called championship mode. where even if they get hit with adversity, they hunker down, they tighten up, and they push through the barrier.
Yeah.
Another person that should have gotten that would have been Cam Newton, but we all know about that.
That's a 2-hour broadcast in and of itself.
So Dak has to get that mental toughness. He's got to get there mentally. I think he has the arm strength. We all know he can run the football. We all know he's a mobile quarterback.
Yes.
So it's not his athleticism that anyone's really questioning. It's his mental toughness, his mental ability to overcome adversity, particularly a team like the 49ers, which he could have beaten
both times
had he not gotten his own way.
Both times.
And mind you, because our beloved Pennywise, our dancing clown, decided to put Ezekiel Elliott as a center.
What did y'all think? Listen, Kerm, I got a question for you since you're a Cowboy fan, and I want the chat to get in on this too. What did y'all think when you saw Ezekiel Elliott?
I'm gonna say right now, Snowman. What I was screaming at the top of my lungs cannot be for FCC airwaves.
I think I have an answer from you.
I've never been so
angry,
embarrassed.
Oh Lord!
Because look, it's embarrassing when you will now be known as the team that puts your star running back as a center in a divisional round, in a divisional game.
Here's the other point about that. We gave y'all a gift.
Yes.
And call timeout.
Yes. It's almost like we were given the lifeline.
We called time. San Francisco called timeout.
You know what this was? Imagine if you were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yes.
And you have the million, right?
Yep. You're about to play for the million.
You get the question.
Mm-hmm.
Name an animal that meows. A, cat. B, dog. C, fish. D, bird. And you go with C, but you're like, well, do you want to phone a friend? And so you phone a friend, and you say, hey, I'm on the way to a million, but I have a question. What animal says meow? And even they're telling you, you idiot, it's a cat.
It's a cat.
And after you get that,
after you've been called an idiot in their mind,
yes, you then say,
and they come back to you calmly and say cat.
Yes. And then after that, you say, okay, the answer is C, fish, final answer. And even after you were given the lifeline, you will still mess it up. That's what the Cowboys did.
I mean, we gave them a lifeline and called timeout. We called timeout.
Yes. It's like if you got a test in school. You almost have the perfect score. You get one wrong. The teacher says, would you like to change your answer? Because the teacher knew it was wrong and was trying to get you that perfect score, and you still said, no, I'm good. This is the answer I want. It's just,
oh boy.
How do you do that? How do you sit there and say, yep, the perfect play was for Ezekiel Elliott to be a center?
Be at center. Ezekiel freaking Elliott.
I don't understand. I don't get it. And this is why I said Pennywise has to go.
So after Pennywise goes, what next?
So after Pennywise goes,
we talked about Dak. We talked about Dak set. We talked about Jerry Jones needing to go. Pennywise to go.
Yep.
Who's next on the firing line?
Whoever our offensive coordinator is, unless that's Pennywise. So then he has to go twice. We're really sure about getting rid of Pennywise. I know that for a fact.
Yes. He's going to call the plays. He has an offensive coordinator in name only.
And that's the thing is that we're going to need a stronger offensive coordinator. And someone who is more run-oriented.
You need an offensive coordinator, period.
Yeah.
You need an offensive coordinator, period, because it's certainly not him.
And
it's certainly not Pennywise. And I'm borrowing from you. I will not embarrass McCarthy's last name.
Yeah. We are not going to disrespect McCarthy.
No.
And
no, can't do it.
And God help Pollard. Because Pollard's in trouble.
He's going to get 40 carries a game and average 83 yards on the ground.
I was going to say he's going to get 40 carries and average 40 and get 40 yards for the season. I don't see that line.
Meanwhile, having a bunch of
Tiger uppercut
delivered to him.
Yep. If every team is good, look at what the NFC East now is. Look at how the NFC East is now.
Every team improved except Dallas.
The draft said enough for me about what to expect from the Cowboys.
And you were with me that night.
Yes.
You covered that. You were with me that night when the Cowboys made their choice, and I thought you were going to flip me off on camera for a moment.
I threw my hands up. I threw my hands up because I'm like, at least the Bears got something for what they needed. They needed some offensive line help, and they got it. The Eagles stole the show that first round.
Of course.
Stole the show. Okay, Washington's gotten better. The Giants got better. Cowboys, all right. Now we need some help with the offensive line. Give it to us. No. You pick a defensive player. A defensive player that we didn't even know. We didn't know who this person was.
Right.
And once I saw the war room, because usually you get a view of the war room before they make the selection.
Yeah.
So I saw the war room and everyone's high fives. And I'm like, this is going to be some premium BS. I already can see it.
And they drafted a running back out of Kansas State named Deuce Vaughn, one of the coach's sons. I know Deuce is going to produce for them. He doesn't have a choice. He's playing for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a choice. Why didn't you solve your offensive line help?
That's what I'm saying. What line? What is Deuce going to do behind that line?
Why didn't you solve your offensive line help? And why didn't you get a real offensive coordinator?
The Walmart mannequins have moved from Chicago to Dallas. That's pretty much what we've seen. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I want to be optimistic, but my God, you talk about doing anything in our division, it's going to be a slaughter. We're going to take beatings from everybody.
Oh Lord! The random musings of Vicala continues after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central. Because we take this job so serious.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
It is indeed. Man in the Morning with Cole Johnson, Jay Spivey on the way. We continue the random musings of Vikala, who joins us from Chicago, talking Cowboys and what they need to do to get back to prominence.
Oh, I remember something. We were the same team last year that forgot football 101. The referee spots the ball. We forgot that too.
And your thoughts on that particular play? Are they suitable for FCC airwaves?
No, they're not.
Okay,
they're absolutely not.
That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know.
I'll put it like this. You want to know how the Cowboys get back to prominence is if every sensible, intelligent Cowboys fan looks our idiot neighbor in the eye and say, look, our team is trash. You're not good right now. Can they get better? Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
But they will not get better until you and everyone else shuts up and let us criticize the Cowboys critically.
I'm sorry. Can you pronounce that word again?
Critically, use critical thinking skills for the team to get better. It's come to a point where I, who have been a Cowboys fan since 1991,
I remember,
am being looked at as not a real Cowboys fan because I didn't look at the mess that was on the field last year and said, next year we got it. And I asked Cowboys Nation, what did you see in this season that makes you say, yeah, next year we're going to Super Bowl?
I really don't know how they came up with that.
Was he in the draft that made you say, next year, Super Bowl?
No.
Nothing.
Because the three teams that got better, thanks to the draft, and people think I'm nuts for saying this. A, the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending world champions.
Yes.
B, the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending NFC champions.
Yes.
And C, as crazy as y'all think I am for saying this, the San Francisco 49ers.
I mean, yeah. The 49ers have also improved. I believe they're still going to go with Purdy, though, right?
Oh, Purdy's on track to play game one. Purdy is on track to play week one.
I would say also the Lions improved.
The Lions have really improved.
The Lions improved. Even the Bears have improved to some degree. They put a lot of holes, even holes that we didn't see.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit optimistic for the Bears, a little bit more than usual.
Mm-hmm.
But they really have to do some offensive line drills to make sure that line is stout because you and I both have seen it. NFC North is a blitz heavy division.
Yeah, it is.
They love to send 8 in the box.
And dare you to run the football.
And
David Montgomery is now a Lion.
Which means the Lions are going to be more challenge accepting for run the football.
And remember where DeAndre Swift went now.
Yeah.
He's in Philadelphia. And we saw that trade live.
Wonderful.
We saw that trade live, and I love that move for Philadelphia.
Yeah, because Swift was my person to watch for the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre was my player to watch for the Lions, and now he's gone to Philadelphia. It's like, great. As if my Cowboys fandom could not get more beaten down.
Did you say things that were inappropriate?
Again, yes.
All right. 33 after the hour. Victor, hang around with us because we're going down. If I get this right. Yeah, we are. We're going down to Carolina. We're going to have some fun. Our double play on the Invader Coffee Hotline brings us Jay Spivey from North Carolina, and he joins us right now for some Spivey Notes. Good morning, Jay.
Hey, Snowman, what's up?
Mr. Jay Spivey, the legendary Jay Spivey.
Why is no one talking about Wake Forest? I mean, we've had this question 3 straight weeks.
You know what? You know what gets me is that I know ESPN wants to have ratings. I get that.
Yes,
but we've now had 3 days of coverage of NCAA baseball.
3.
Wake Forest dominated their regional. Just dominated their regional.
Blew everybody away. I mean, the last game
they were
was
on
20
TV.
runs.
They were on TV 1 game of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that was on ACC Network at 10:45 p.m. after a 4-hour and 45-minute rain delay Saturday night.
My question is this. Is it just that North Carolina is just so heavy in football and basketball that baseball is just put by the wayside? I mean, you don't get a lot of hockey talk.
No.
I'll answer that question, and Jay will back me up in this answer. It's because they're so stuck on North Carolina and Duke. They're so stuck on the Tar Heels and the Blue Devils, and to a point, the Wolfpack.
Well, listen, I turned in. I watched a bunch of college baseball, especially yesterday, because I was free most of the day. Carolina, the entire Carolina game was on yesterday. It lasted forever. The entire Carolina. And they were the number 3 seed in their regional.
Yep.
At Indiana State. Wake Forest dominated the ACC this year. They dominated their regional this past weekend. And they were on 1 time on ACC Network.
And then the last game against Maryland, Wake Forest put up 21 runs.
No, that's Saturday. Last night they were up 15.
They got 15 last night.
They won 15-1 last night against George Mason.
Against George Mason.
I'm sorry, Snowman. Could you speak that into my good ear?
They scored 15 runs last night and 21 on Saturday.
And 12 on Friday.
My God.
They dominated their regional.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even close.
And they're hosting super regionals.
Against Alabama.
And no one is talking about them.
Not a soul.
We are.
Well, no, I know we are because we're actually real sports journalism.
At the rest of the joints, we are.
I mean, we're supposed to radio, but it's like for me, it seems like North Carolina would rather cover losing teams than cover winning teams. Is that what I'm getting?
No, I think it's more on this end, since ESPN controls the college baseball, since they cover the College World Series. They're not giving them, and then, of course, they own the ACC Network and the SEC Network.
Mm-hmm.
But 1 time in 3 days? Well, there's a million different time slots for games?
Well, that's the thing is, like, if this team is as hot as they are, how are they not getting more coverage? I mean,
and they're by far the number 1 seed.
And they're the number 1 team in the country.
And they're not getting any national exposure.
Nothing.
Any.
They scored 48 runs in 3 games. 48.
Well, listen, I watched the entire pairing show Monday afternoon, this past Monday.
Yes.
On Memorial Day. Kyle Peterson, who's basically the expert on the show, been on ESPN forever, said that the NCAA did no favors by what they did with Wake Forest, put them against Maryland, which was the number 1 ranked offensive team in the country. So Wake was 2nd.
Yeah.
And then they put George Mason and Northeastern, both of whom won their conferences. But yet Wake dominated all 3 of them.
Blew them all out. 12, 21, and 15. They shut out George Mason 12-0. Beat Maryland 21-6. And George Mason, they beat George Mason 15-1.
And I believe they had over 50 strikeouts combined with their pitching staff.
52 strikeouts.
52, yeah, that's right.
Strikeouts.
Right out. 52
Just
strikeouts.
dominated.
They dominated the regional, and they're going to host the super regional at Wake Forest against Alabama with a chance to go to Omaha. I commented on a post on Facebook. You know, they're talking about everybody else, and I said, "Watch out for Wake Forest." You know what that person responded to me with? Curse of number one. Wake Forest won't win it all. All I said was, "Watch out for Wake Forest," and no one cares.
Nope.
No one cares about a team that scored 48 runs in 3 games. No one cares about a team that allowed only 7 runs
and
in
got
3
52
games.
strikeouts. Let's have to get 52 strikeouts. So, you know what? For me, as a former pitcher in my high school days, that's
yes.
And you know, this is another issue for me. And I've been preaching this for years at Wake Forest in all sports.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally started getting around to it. And I've been saying this for years as well about all sports in North Carolina in general. In my opinion, and you know I've covered high school sports my entire adult life.
Yes.
32 years I've been covering high school sports.
Right.
In my opinion, everybody talks about this being a basketball state. Basketball is weak in this state in North Carolina. Very weak.
It
But
is.
if you ask me, and football is very underrated in this state. Football is really good in this state.
It is.
If you ask me, the best sport in North Carolina is baseball.
It's baseball.
Not even close. I know all the colleges get kids from everywhere, but we did have the most colleges in the NCAA tournament from North Carolina. 8.
Mm-hmm.
Texas had 7. Wake, for years, didn't recruit any local kids.
Right.
Their starting 3 pitchers, their 3 starters on the weekend, are all from North Carolina. One of whom is from Winston-Salem.
Yep.
The other of whom, Seth Keener, is from 25 miles from here.
Yep.
And another's about an hour and a half away. So all 3 of their starters, who dominated this past weekend, are from North Carolina. And that's because they have the best pitching lab in college baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It is a phenomenal facility.
And no one until us, no one talked about it. No. I know the fellow, and here's one of the most unfair things. Ty Collins, a very dear friend of mine.
Yep.
Voiced Wake Forest baseball all season long until now. Until A, the ACC tournament, and B, now regionals, and now super regionals. That's not fair.
No.
I mean, I love you, Stan Cotton, but Ty has been there all season long.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's not right. Well, the other thing is, that I don't want it to sound like I'm crushing them, because they are here in the city. But the local TV station is basically across the street from the baseball stadium at Wake.
And they're doing nothing.
It's probably a mile away.
Right.
But it's really, where they are is kind of diagonally across. You could actually see the lights from where the studio is.
Right.
They have not covered them at all until last week.
Now
they set their entire team over there and acted like they've
been there all season.
Yeah, but they haven't. They ignored them.
Of course,
but of course, during the rain delay the other night, that they went home.
Mm-hmm.
They went home.
Mm-hmm.
Then I looked, their sports director showing on social media last night where she cooked dinner instead of being at the game last night.
Wow.
The disrespect knows no bounds, apparently.
And it was beautiful last night. The weather was beautiful last night. There was no reason for her not to have been there.
And she was not even there.
She was cooking dinner at her house.
The disrespect knows no bounds, apparently.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. She acts like she's been there all year. She hasn't been there at all.
She has not been.
The station is across the street.
The station has not done anything to cover Wake Forest baseball. And this has been true the last 2 years that I've intently followed Wake Forest baseball. 3, if you count the year that I was there covering Lewisburg Junior College and later on Wake Forest with Ty. The disrespect is real. And that's saying That's being light about it. The disrespect is real for Wake Forest baseball.
So,
and let's call out these stations.
So then
let's
my question now. So then my question now would be: is it just that people think that Wake Forest is just small potatoes?
Yes. I lived there for 2 years.
Honestly, that there is that. That's for 100% true. But there's also, and this is going on no matter who the athletic director is.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the treatment of the media by the school and how they portray themselves.
Right.
Yeah, I'll fully admit I'm a Wake Forest fan, but I'm objective enough to see what they do to people.
Yeah.
At night they close off the campus. It's gated, which I think is wrong. If you want to get in there, and I know there's been some issues on campus, I get that. That happens at every campus, and I wouldn't condone that anywhere, anytime. But if you really want to get in there, you can get in there, but don't close off to the community. You're not the city of Wake Forest. No, that's in Raleigh, right outside of Raleigh.
That's the first thing that.
Then they don't treat the media well. Now I've not been there, so I'll say that firsthand. But I heard from 3 different people Saturday night, 3 different media people Saturday night, where the media station, the press box where they're using for the baseball, and it's plenty big enough, but they put the media in an auxiliary press box in left field, and you cannot see any of the field from where they are.
No, an auxiliary press box.
When the box they have at the stadium is plenty big enough.
It's big enough for. Oh my gosh!
So they put them in an area where you cannot see the field, and you want them to cover.
Now I'm getting why I was turned away when I applied to cover Wake Forest when I was in Carolina.
They don't care about the media over there anymore. They do not care. I was told by a cameraman, photojournalist from the same TV station I was telling you about. He told me Saturday night that Friday during the first round, he was followed around everywhere he went by 3 different people to make sure he didn't get shots that ESPN couldn't use.
Are you kidding me? Good grief.
He said just 3 people he knows followed him around to make sure he didn't get any illegal shots.
Illegal shots?
Because the ESPN owns the rights to the whole tournament, and he couldn't get any live shots unless it was not on ESPN's coverage.
Wow. That's insane.
Wow. And y'all wonder why I despise that 4-letter network. Wow.
That's insane.
I see it all the time.
Now I understand why they turned me away when I applied to cover Wake Forest football 3 years ago.
Yeah, I know a lot's changed in the last 5 years. And I covered Wake Forest tennis religiously.
Yes.
Especially the year they won the national championship, 2018, when it was in Winston-Salem. Cover the whole season, not just the NCAA tournament, the whole season.
Right.
I had the head coach's phone number. I reached out to the SID and I said, what would you like me to do? Would you rather go through me or would you rather that I go through him? He said, there's no reason for you to go through me. You already have his phone number. You go ahead and call him yourself. There's no way they would allow me to do that now. No way.
Wow.
And that was just 5 years ago.
What brought the changes on?
I think, well, first of all, this has been building for years. But second, I think, and he's done a great job, don't get me wrong. But John Curry, the new athletic director, I think he's just isolated everybody.
Damn. And I hate that happening. Because you have something special going on with Wake Forest baseball. And no locals are allowed to really cover it the way it needs and deserves to be covered.
They've been over backward for the national media, but the local media, they don't care. They could not care less.
Sad. That's just sad. Ryan McCarthy joins us in the chat because if you're a North Carolina school not named UNC or Duke, you'll never get national attention. Jay, how many times have we said that, since you and I have teamed up?
Many. Well, I mean, State been better in baseball, and they did make the NCAA tournament. They did not do well this weekend, But had
Right.
State been in there, they would have got the same treatment as those other two would have.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the truth.
And State can whine about coverage all they want, especially when they're dealing with Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But, for the most part, it's either I think they play second fiddle to Carolina all the time.
Yeah, they do. They do. And it's just sad how the media, the Wake Forest media, local media gets treated.
Which is your lifeblood.
Honestly, especially with this team or the improvement of the basketball team and how much the football team has remained consistent over the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, Wake is a really small school that's expensive. It's hard to get into. The academics are great. And the football team has done remarkably well the last 7 or 8 years. Pretty consistent. But, again, they're not treated that way. The media's not treated that way around here.
Mm-hmm.
The only one who seems to get it in terms of the three big coaches, we got Dave Clawson in football, Steve Forbes in basketball, and Tom Walter now in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
The only one who seems to get it is Steve Forbes. Now, apparently he was all over the place this weekend in baseball. Want to make his face seen, which is great.
Yeah.
All the coaches should be doing that.
And yet they're not.
No.
And yet they're not.
There was even a video circulating where he was in the locker room Saturday night during the rain delay, dancing with the players, get them ready for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it clearly worked since they won 21-6.
Yeah. Yeah. I go back to a point you made about the sports director at the TV station across the street from the baseball stadium at Wake Forest being shown at home cooking dinner and not covering the baseball team. What kind of sports director are you?
Exactly.
To not cover the number one baseball team in the land.
And I don't care.
And then on top of that,
I don't care if it's Sunday night. Who cares? That's your job. Sports happen on Sundays.
Yeah, sports happens all the time.
I can promise you that if Carolina had been there, she would have been in Chapel Hill. But
in a minute. She'd have made the drive to Chapel Hill in a minute.
Yep.
In a minute, because I lived in Henderson. I've seen it happen where people will come from Winston-Salem to cover Carolina. I've seen it happen.
Oh yeah, she would have been there.
I've seen it happen.
To prove my point. Now the Hurricanes just got swept out of the Eastern Conference Championship.
Yes.
Now the Hurricanes are 2 hours away from here.
Mm-hmm.
She flew to Sunrise, Florida for the last 2 games of that series.
Stop.
But she cannot come to cover the team in her own city for the
across the street.
In her own backyard. She flew to Sunrise, Florida.
She was there for 3 or 4 days.
On her dime or on the station's dime?
Company's dime. Company's dime.
Wow.
But you can't come to your own school's regional.
And you can't come to that. They flew her to Florida.
For games 3 and 4.
For games 3 and 4. And she couldn't care, and she didn't care less about what Wake Forest was doing in her own backyard.
She was there Friday night. I don't know if she was there Saturday or not, but I know she was not there last night.
To see them win it all. To see them win the regional.
But I bet you $100 whether they play Friday or Saturday. They haven't announced the game times yet. Whether they play Friday or Saturday, she will be there and act like Miss Queen over there.
Yeah, I know it. And it's stupid to me that this is allowed to go on. It's stupid to me that there's no accountability for the local media not covering this team, the number one team in the nation.
Well, if no one makes a sound about it, no one sounds off about it, no one knows, no one cares.
We're sounding off about it.
Well, depending on what Duke's playing today. As of right now, there are 3 ACC teams still left. Duke's playing today. They're playing Coastal Carolina today. Depending on what Duke does today, I will bet you that Virginia will get the majority of the ACC coverage. Virginia Wake, even though Virginia finished, I believe, 4th in the ACC, I guarantee Virginia will get more coverage.
I wouldn't be surprised. Would not surprise me. Coastal Carolina beat Duke 8-6 yesterday.
And they're playing again today.
Yeah, like 6 o'clock they play today. Why? You want to talk about biased? You want to talk about bias? The sports director, and thank you for telling me this, Jay. Thank you for telling us this. I beg your pardon. Flew to Florida for the last 2 games of the East Finals between Carolina and Florida, both of which one loss was in overtime, the other came in the final seconds. You fly back and you couldn't cover Wake Forest and what they were doing?
I could maybe understand her going down if it were the Stanley Cup Finals, but not the Eastern Conference Finals.
Not the conference finals. No, you can cover that from afar.
And that's, again, I'm going to say, the Hurricanes are 2 hours away from here. Wake Forest is a mile away from her station.
And she won't do it.
You can see the lights from her studio. I drive by her station all the time. It is less than a mile away.
Does she have anyone under her covering events?
Yeah, the guy she was with Friday night, who they set out in the parking lot, had a live shot for 30 minutes Friday night, and act like they'd been there the whole season.
Okay.
That's maddening. And it's my home state, too.
I'm just going to have to get back there and push the plunger and just make this right. Some kind of way. I mean, people think I'm foolish enough for thinking that. Well, as God is my witness, I am that fool.
Well, it's like you said in your motto, dream big, do bigger.
Just like I have no desire to be on TV. None. But I do understand that when you're a sports director, you need to be there no matter what. I don't care what day of the week it is. Sports happen on Sundays.
You're talking to a guy who was a sports director for a college radio station, and I did it for 14 years. Whenever something happens with Chicago State, I was there.
Yep.
You know, I worked for a major newspaper for 28 and a half years. Still working in the newspaper business. Sports happen on Sunday. People ask me all the time. People ask me all the time, especially being in the quote Bible Belt. Why are you working on Sundays? I was like, well, the paper's got to get out. Sports don't stop on Sundays.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
I work many Sundays and Saturdays in my time. Many.
Same.
Hundreds and hundreds of them.
Victor, how many Sunday games with Chicago State have I done over the years?
Countless. To me to count. There were times where I did it with you.
Look, Victor has ridden shotgun with me for Sunday games with Chicago State and with high schools up in Chicago. Sports happens on Sunday.
Right. Yes. Yeah, because we had 3 different state championships this past weekend, which ended the high school season. Because of the weather here on Saturday night, they had to finish one of them yesterday in Greensboro.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they stopped? One of the schools to play was a Catholic school. Do you think they stopped just because it was Sunday?
No.
No.
God, no.
So, I mean, what's the deal?
I'm just going to have to get back there some kind of way and establish my presence in the triad.
And I'm not trying to just rip her. I just don't understand it.
I know. We look, it's not right. Okay, that's all we're saying. It's not right. But speak ye the truth and shame the devil. I say it all the time. Tell the truth about what's going on.
And also, you have a team that's doing significantly well.
And if people got to get called out, they have to get called out. Period.
Yep.
I'm sick and tired of this lackluster sports coverage that I've seen, not just in Carolina, but across the nation.
I predict there are four different local channels around here within 30 minutes of here. Mm-hmm. I predict all 4 of them will be there, whether they play Friday or Saturday against Alabama. All of them will be there. All of them will do they'll do stories all this week about Alabama. They'll do stories all this week about Wade. And they'll act like they've been there the entire season. When in reality, they have not been there at all, even though they were the preseason number 6 team and are now number 1.
Well, we're going to change that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were just there just to see the roll tide.
Oh, well, as y'all well know, I mean, I was telling a friend of mine, we were talking about this last night. Well, he doesn't keep up with it like I do. If you guys seen Within the last month, they fired the Alabama coach for betting.
Yep.
But that won't get any coverage this week, probably because they don't know about it. They're so ignorant around here. I've had hundreds of people ask me, "Are you sure Wake Forest is going to get a home super regional?" I was like, "They're the number one team in the country. Why wouldn't they?"
Mm-hmm. And they
Are
got.
you sure
they got
about that? Well, they changed the rules years ago because of that.
Mm-hmm.
You sure it's not going to be in Tuscaloosa?
Nope.
No.
It's going to be in Winston-Salem. And then like you said, they're the number one team in the country. Why wouldn't they go to super regional?
Well, they changed the rules about 15 years ago or whenever it was, because there were a lot of teams that were getting screwed out of regionals,
right?
Just because of who they were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, it might be. I think one year Wake had to play. Wake was a better team than Miami, and Wake had to go to Miami for the super regional. 97.
97. I remember that.
But Miami ended up winning and not that it's an excuse, but going to Miami is a whole lot different than playing Miami up here.
Yeah.
And they changed the rule not long after that. And now the higher seeds get the better sites, as they should. That's what it should be.
Yeah. And again, like you said, Wake Forest is the number one team in the country. Why wouldn't they host a regional or a super regional?
Which 1 versus 16? Alabama's 16. Why would it be in Tuscaloosa?
If it was in Tuscaloosa, I would have raised hell. Because I've watched and listened to this team all year. Thank you, Ty Collins, for that. And why wouldn't they be the number one? Why wouldn't they host a super regional?
Exactly. But I've had so many people ask me that in the last week. It's unbelievable.
Okay. Well, all I say is watch this, because I'm going to amp up my coverage and do a better job than most of the networks there. And in a particular one, and you know which one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
That
do you think that network's discussed this at all?
Hell no.
I'm pretty sure from what I've heard.
It's been nothing but NBA all day today. I guarantee that.
I guarantee that too.
NBA.
Yes.
I will bet he's discussed nothing but NBA today.
I will bet that also.
Wait
a minute. On top of that, they don't even have a morning show to cover some of the local events. Figure that out.
Wait a minute. Have the Hornets suddenly performed a miracle and got better? Because I don't understand why.
No.
Well, like I
told close.
Just like with the lottery a couple weeks ago, I told you they wouldn't get the number one pick, and they end up getting basically the worst pick by getting the number 2 pick.
Mm-hmm.
They will not get Victor Wembanyama. They will now get some loser who's below him.
You know the crazy part about this? They're not even on air right now.
Yeah.
They're not even on air right now. They don't have a playlist or nothing.
Jeez.
At least my station has a playlist of stuff I've done in the past.
That's
right. True.
And I add this program to it and a couple of others. Really?
That's insanity.
What's he going to discuss this summer? NBA is going to be over in about a week and a half.
Yeah, guess who?
Oh, Lord.
That's all I got to say. Guess who?
Did we just get a comedic uppercut by one Cole Johnson?
We just let me find that. We just got a
Tiger uppercut.
Thanks to Cole Johnson about that. Jay Spivey joins us talking all things Carolina sports as he always does each and every Monday. Thank you, Jay, so much, and thanks for calling out the people that needed to be called out. I appreciate it.
I thoroughly enjoy it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hey, we appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Good to meet you, Jay.
All right, thanks. Have a good week.
There is something cooking in the background.
Someone spoke of a moratorium?
Oh, see? Comedic uppercut by one Mr. Cole Johnson. How you doing, Cole?
How you doing? How you doing, Victor? I'm sorry.
What's going on, partner?
Everything is good. I'm sorry, Victor. I have to greet you the way others seem to now.
Yeah. You started it.
I started it. Lord have mercy.
Ray started it. Now here we are.
Wait. You started it with this. You started that mess.
Well, actually, Victor started by going in on Ray, and so Ray retaliated. That's all he did.
Ray did retaliate. He's still a clown, but he retaliated. At least
he started this.
all Ray did was this.
Oh, you were finished. Oh, well, allow me to retort.
No. Was born.
No. You ain't getting away with that. No.
And then somehow Snowman said, hey, I want the same thing too. So now.
And now we have that.
Snowman Braun lover. Hey, the Hall of Fame, Trash.
Tiger uppercut.
See, that one right there when he immortalized me was a
fire
shot.
It was.
You ain't got a lick of sense, and I love you both for that.
Oh,
if you missed it, Victor spent about a half hour breaking down what needs to happen with the Cowboys.
Doggone it.
For them to be, I'll make sure I cut it and send it to you.
Man,
but
if I didn't have to deal with some work stuff, I would have caught all of it.
In a half hour, basically Victor said, push the plunger, blow it up, and try again.
Try again.
He said when he started at the top with Gerald, as you often say.
I mean, I'm willing to.
He didn't say Jerry. Listen, Cole. He didn't say Jerry. He said Gerald.
That's how I say it. Gerald.
I personally would love to set up a GoFundMe so that we can pay for Gerald to go to the most old folks' home and just stay away from Jerry World. Let's not even call it Jerry World. Let's call it Dallas World. Let's call it something other than that.
Something than Jerry World.
The Arlington football team.
Thank you, Cool McCain, for that. That's seriously though, Victor. I really do feel for you all, and I mean the reasonable Cowboys fans. I don't know how you can follow that team. I seriously don't know how you can follow that team, considering how much of a comedy of errors they seem to be every single year.
I think, I think most of us are plugs for punishment at this point, but I think the bigger thing is that we know what the Cowboys used to be. We know when they were the echelon of greatness, when they actually were America's team, when that actually was relevant.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we have been invaded by the moronic republic of Cowboys Nation. You saw how they were on the Dallas Stars.
And then Ryan with a parting shot, Arlington retirement community. Get it right, Vic Allah. Oh, Lord. For those of you listening on WQEE 99.1, we hope that you enjoyed it as we enjoy bringing it to you. Same with WLEO. We got to get out of here. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big. Do bigger. I got to yell at these two off the air. We are out of here. God bless y'all. We'll see you tomorrow.
Aaron Rodgers didn't ghost the Packers. Nigga, please.